Hi everyone, I hope you all watched the previous videos. Let's start the session. A solid needle placed horizontally on the surface of water floats due to the surface tension of water. Okay. An iron needle, when placed horizontally on water, floats on the surface of water. The phenomena is usually justified as surface tension. For the needle to float without sinking, some force has to balance its weight, right? Since no part of the needle is under the water, buoyant force can be ruled. I learned that force due to surface tension always acts tangentially to a surface. So this force should not have any vertical component. Okay. When hot liquid is poured into a thick glass tumbler, it cracks because glass is. When you pour a very hot liquid into a thick tumbler, what happens is the surface of glass that comes in contact with the hot liquid heats up and expands as per its coefficient of thermal expansion, right? While the outer layer still remain cold and does not expand because glass is poor conductor and does not carry heat. So that's why the answer is glass is a bad conductor of heat. So only inner surface gets expand. Okay. Hydroelectric power is a hydroelectricity relies on water, which is a clean renewable energy source. Okay, a renewable energy source is one that will not run out. Okay, so renewable energy source is the right answer. A man presses more weight on earth at weight is the amount of matter contained in a body, right? Weight depends on the surface area of contact. When there is more surface area, the weight will be distributed equally all over the surface area. In the lying position and sitting position, the weight is distributed equally or in some parts throughout the body, which is in contact with the ground. So here the answer is standing position. Okay. A drop of liquid assumes spherical shape because liquid drop always assumes spherical shape because drop always tends to acquire minimum surface area due to surface tension. And for a given volume, the surface area of the sphere is minimum. Okay, so a sphere has the least surface area for a given volume. A clinical thermometer measures temperature in a range of that is 35 degrees to 42 degrees Celsius. Okay, convex mirrors are used as rear view mirror in motorcycle because the image is smaller, more image can fit onto the mirror. So a convex mirror provides for a larger field of view than a plane mirror. Okay, this is why they are useful in the rear view mirrors of cars or bikes. Okay, they are used whenever a mirror with a large field of view is needed. For example, a passenger side rear view mirror on a car is convex. Okay, so here the answer is it forms smaller image as compared to the object. Okay, the wall of a dam is thicker at the bottom than at the top because the pressure exerted by the water on the wall. Okay, it is due to a dam will a dam wall is thicker at the bottom because it takes properties that are force and exerted as strongest close to the ground. If the water pressure increases proportionally with depth, right, the lower portion of the dam all has thicker ranges. Okay, as the depth increases, pressure increases, right? So here increases with depth of the wall. Okay, P equals to rho GH formula here. Gonna work. Okay, full form of CFL. CFL full form is compact fluorescent lamp. Okay, indicate the false statement about the resistance of the wire. It depends on material of wire. It directly proportional to the length of wire. It is directly proportional to the area of cross section. Resistance of a metallic wire increases with increase in temperature. Okay, resistance of resistors or any conductor depends upon the length of the conductor, area of cross section. Okay, of the conductor and temperature at which you are using it. Okay, cross-sectional area of the conductor is inversely proportional to the resistance. Okay, here it is mentioned proportional. Okay, but it is inversely proportional. Let's say resistance R equals to rho L by A. Right here, R is resistance, rho is resistivity. Okay, resistivity of material. Sorry, of material. L is length of conductor. A is area of cross section. Sorry, cross sectional area of cross section. Cross sectional area of the conductor. Okay, so if you see here in the formula, resistance is inversely proportional to the area of cross section of the wire. Okay, so option C is false statement. Okay, for which diode is used? Okay, for which diode is used? A rectifier is a diode that is able to convert the current from AC to DC. Okay, the rectifier is placed in one of the AC lines before the load. Okay, the diode has small leak current whenever it is working. The rectifier is used to purify the circuit. Okay, so here answer is purification. Okay, next one. Who among the following developed the technology of underground nuclear explosion? It is Dr. Homi J. Baba. Okay, Homi J. Baba means Homi Jahangir Baba. Okay, he is an Indian nuclear physicist. Okay, everyone knows that, right? Which among the following types of coal produces most heat per unit? that is anthracite. Okay, and it has the around how much 86 to 98% of the carbon content is present. Okay, carbon percentage, carbon percentage is 86 to 98%. Okay, so high carbon content among the other coals. Okay, which among the following waves is used for communication by artificial satellites? That is microwaves. Okay, communication by artificial satellites. That is microwaves. Okay, what is found in frequency modulation? That is fixed frequency. Okay, the fixed frequency is used in frequency modulation. Okay, in telecommunications and signal processing, frequency modulation is the encoding of information in a carrier wave by varying the instantaneous frequency of the wave. Okay, in analog frequency modulation, such as FM radio broadcasting of audio signal representing voice or music, the instantaneous frequency deviation, okay, the difference between the frequency of the carrier and its center frequency is proportional to the modulating signal. Okay, when the speed of car is double, then what will be the braking force of the car to stop it in the same distance? The formula for kinetic energy is here. Sorry. Formula for kinetic energy. Kinetic energy equals to of mass into velocity square, right? So if velocity is doubled, that is here 2v square, right? So totally 4 times the of mv square, right? So that is 4 times the k kinetic energy, right? So the braking force will have to be 4 times greater to stop the car in the same distance. Okay. The dimension of which of the following is same as that of impulse? Okay. Dimension of both impulse and linear momentum. Okay. Impulse and linear momentum is the dimension is m1 l1 t power minus 1. So momentum and linear, sorry, um, impulse and linear momentum. Okay. Same units, right? So here the linear momentum P equals to mass into velocity, right? Mass is kg, velocity is meter per second square. Kg means m1, meter means L1, second square means, sorry, second, meter per second, it's velocity, S1, S power minus 1, okay? So here the answer is momentum, okay? Which among the following is fundamental quantity? That is time, okay? Fundamental quantities are 7, right? 7 fundamental quantities. This is the first one, mass in kg, length in meters, right? Time in seconds, temperature in Kelvin, current in amps, luminous intensity and luminosity. Okay, luminous intensity, that is candela. Okay, candela means CD. Okay, seventh one is amount of substance. Okay, amount of substance, that is mole. Okay, these are the 7 fundamental quantities or units. Okay, when a ring of metal is heated, what happens to its hole? A hole in a material behaves just like a circle of that same material. Okay, it expands on heating. Okay, what's actually happening is that if it tries to expand inwards, it is contraction. Okay, it will have to compress itself and increase its density. Okay, so here the answer is expands. When a body is earth connected, electrons from the earth flow into the body. This means the body is charged positively. Okay, if a body is grounded and electrons start flowing into the body from the earth, this would mean that the body has an excess of positive charges. Okay, the charges inside the body are attracting the negative electrons from the earth, as a potential difference is being developed at the two ends in the earth and the body. Okay, who invented car? Everyone knows the bench. Okay, you can remember by the car name bench. Okay, full form of SPM, that is suspended particulate matter. Okay, SPM are finely divided solids or liquids that may be dispersed through the air from combustion process. Okay, combustion or industrial activities or natural sources. Okay, time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation is known as, that is time period. Okay, good resistance coil are made of, they made of manganese. Okay, resistance wire for heating purpose because it has high resistivity and resistance to oxidation at higher temperature. When used as a heating element, resistance wire is usually wound into coil. Okay, who invented television? Answer is John Logie Baird. Okay, that is J.L. Baird. The heating element of an electric heater should be made of material having a high specific resistance and high melting point. Okay, nichrome is the best suitable and ideal material for making heating elements. Okay, it is having comparatively high resistance. Okay, when the heating element is heated for the first time, chromium of alloy react with the oxygen of the atmosphere and forms a layer of chromium oxide on the outer surface of the heating element. Okay, the invention of aeroplane is associated with Nostart Wright brothers. Okay, next one. The massive hole in the ozone layer over the Antarctica was first discovered in 1985. Okay, the production of electric current by moving a magnet inside a fixed coil of wire is a case of it is a electromagnetic induction. Okay, electromagnetic induction or induction is a process in which a conductor is put in a particular position and magnetic field keeps varying or magnetic field is stationary and a conductor is moving. Okay, this produces a voltage or EMF, okay, across the electrical conductor. Okay, EMF means electromotive force. Okay, what is the relationship between momentum and kinetic energy? That is answer A, K equals to PA by 2M. Okay, here we will deal this kinetic energy formula. We all know that of mv square, right? Momentum formula P equals to mv, where symbols have the usual meaning. Okay, now K equals to half mv square. Okay, let's write it in other form, mv square multiplying by m and divided by m. Okay, that is equals to mv whole square, mv whole square by 2m, right? Sorry, 2m. Okay, here mv is p, that is momentum, right? P square by 2m. So k equals to p square by 2m. Okay, which conversion principle is applicable in the case of the motion of rocket? I think everyone knows this, right? A rocket taking off, the recoil of a rifle, and a back shot in a pool are examples which going backward. Direction of motion is used to define positive and negative, right? Okay. Where the external forces are significant, the concept of conservation of linear momentum, okay, can be applied to a limited extent. Okay, here the answer is conservation of the momentum. Okay, current provided by a battery is maximum when current provided by a battery is maximum when internal resistance is equal to the external resistance. Okay, the inside of both the walls of a thermos flask is silver, that is on the vacuum side in other in order to reduce heat loss by radiation. Okay, the thermos flask has double walls which are evacuated and the vacuum bottle is silver on the inside. The vacuum between the two walls prevents heat being transferred from the inside to the outside by conduction and convection. Okay, so here the silver surfaces on the inner walls of the flask reflect heat radiation back. Okay, heat radiation back into the liquid and minimizing the heat loss by radiation. Okay, what is the freezing point of water? That is 30 degree, 32 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, in other words, 0 degree Celsius. Okay, all right, 0 degree Celsius, that's equal to 273.15 Kelvin. Okay, that is the freezing. One astronomical unit is the average distance between, it is between Earth and Sun. Okay, as a unit of luminous intensity, that is candela. I have discussed in the fundamental units, right? Cadmium pollution is associated with, that is ethyl disease. Okay, what is the use of kink? Kink in the mercury thermometer helps to prevent the falling of mercury present in the capillary tube into body. It ensures that the user takes the correct reading of temperature. Okay, so answer is prevents falling of mercury level in the. If there is an equal and opposite force acting on a body, then the body will be, the object will be in, remain stationary. Okay, the effect of frictional force may be minimized by, friction is greatly reduced by introducing a fluid such as oil at the interface of two surfaces. The fluid fills the irregularities and therefore smooths out the surfaces. Okay, a natural example of such lubrication occurs in the joints of animals, right, which are lubricated by fluid called synovial fluid. Okay, it comes in the biology concepts. Okay, so here the answer is providing a lubricant at the surface of contact. Okay, to reduce the friction force. If the velocity time graph is horizontal line, then if velocity time graph is a straight line, then it means the acceleration is constant. Okay, horizontal straight line means velocity is also constant and the acceleration is zero. Okay, so here the answer is zero. The equation of motion can be represented. You can see the all three are equation of motions. Okay, according to the law of reflection, which one is correct? Law of reflection is defined as the principle when the light ray falls on the smooth surface, the angle of reflection, okay, angle of reflection is equal to the angle of incidence. Okay, also the incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal to the surface all lie in the same plane. Okay, here the answer is angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Okay, that's the option. Concave mirror is, concave mirrors are also known as converging mirrors. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, since the rays converge after falling on the convex mirror, sorry, concave mirror. Okay, The process of depositing a layer of any desired metal on another material by means of electricity is called, that is electroplating. Okay, the process of depositing a layer of any desired metal on another material by means of electricity is called electroplating. It is one of the most common application of chemical effect of electric current. Okay, a force can change. A force can change shape of a object. Okay, when a force acts on an object, the object may change shape by bending, stretching, or compressing, or combination of all three. Okay, so the shapes can change. Okay, when a branch of tree is vigorously shaken, the fruits and seeds in it fall down due to it is due to the inertia of rest. Okay, when a tree is shaken vigorously, its fruits and leaves fall down. This is due to the fact that when the tree is shaken, it moves to and fro slightly, but its fruits and leaves tends to remain at the same, I mean we can say rest state, okay, due to the inertia and hence detached from the tree and falls down. Okay, the acceleration that is produced by 24 Newton force in a mass of 5 kg will be equal to, okay, we know the formula of F equals to ma, right? Here F equals to 24 Newton, mass is equal to 5 kg. Okay, F equals to 24, mass equals to 5 into A. We want to know the acceleration, so 24 by 5, that is 4.8 meter per second square. Okay, 1 horsepower is equals to 1 horsepower is equals to 746 watts, right? If mass m is converted into energy, the energy obtained will be, here the answer is mc square. Okay, the energy E of a mass to energy conversion equals to mass that was converted multiplied by the speed of the light square. Okay, if we choose mass in kilograms and the speed of light in meters per second, then the answer will be in joules. Okay, so that's all for today. Thanks for watching. If any corrections are there, any new concepts you want to learn, just let me know in the comments in the comment box. Okay, and please watch the previous videos. If you have any doubts regarding the videos, just comment. Okay, thank you.